Hello, good evening, and welcome to One Life Left on Resonance 104.4 FM. I'm Steve Curran. Sorry, go on.
No,
I didn't think you were ready.
I'm premature. Oh, born ready, Steve.
And I'm Anne Scantlebury.
How's it going?
Me?
Anybody.
I don't know, she just sounded so surprised. So what you're listening to right now is the sound of Anne undressing. That is how premature we were.
I'm taking
That's
off my
part
coat.
of undressing.
That's
that comes first.
different.
No, it's not. It's the same. It's the same
Steve
thing.
insists that they keep their clothes on.
Tops off a clock at 7 p.m. on a Monday. We are One Life Left. We are a video game radio show.
So slightly hurried intro. Apologies for that, listeners. Bumped into Terry Alderton, didn't we?
Yeah, it kept you chatting outside.
We're having a chat. Terry Alderton, I worked with Terry many years ago on a show called Game Stars. Since then, he's hit the big time. He's been in EastEnders recently, married to going out with Bianca.
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
And he said he'd love to come back on the show. Sorry, come on the show. He's never been on this show. He's been on an ITV show. So, yes, that's good. We'll get him on.
Great news.
So
you were just doing some business.
Just some
That's what you're
admin.
saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Gonna be,
All right. Excellent. Have you had a good week, son?
It's been pretty good, yes. I did my back in on Saturday, so I'm in
so sorry to
terrific
hear that.
pain. Yeah, I bent over to pick up a Power Rangers toy. Yeah, they are pretty deadly. There was a twang. I had to lie down.
Was it like in a cartoon?
Yeah.
Like a twang?
Yeah, it was, yeah. And that's smashed up the Power Ranger. So I'm in a little bit of pain. I may wince. You're in pain as well, Anne, aren't you?
I'm actually not in pain,
Okay.
but so we're doing the full rundown of injuries on the Team One Life Left this week. I burst my eardrum earlier this week.
How on earth did you do that, Anne?
I have an ear infection, Simon, and they, just popped.
Wow, that sounds painful.
Actually, like Anne's eardrum burst after we'd done our Marioke.
Honestly, that was the cause. Like I'd been, we've been having a brilliant Marioke night. Got into bed, and then blood everywhere.
Blood on the pillow. The last thing Anne heard was my cover of November Rain.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Honestly, it was.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to leave before it's...
went okay.
Did it?
Went pretty good.
Well, you'll have to... we shouldn't spoil it for the people who haven't been to Marioke
Well,
yet.
I do have one thing that I want to say that happened this time at Marioke. After you left, we discovered the smoke machine.
Right.
Let me tell you. I smoked that room out.
Yes, and we'll be employing the smoke machine later in December. It's also your birthday as well.
It
isn't
is, yes.
Simon?
Happy birthday,
happy
me.
birthday,
Happy
you.
birthday, yeah.
Well done.
Thanks.
Get that out of the way, a little bit of
managed to
admin.
cling on for another year. You all sang happy birthday to me at Marioke as well.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. It's good.
Stay strong, Simon.
Fortunately, so Steve, are you okay?
I'm absolutely
Everything,
fine.
Are you sure?
As far as I'm
maybe
a bit worried.
maybe it's a mental one.
I might go for a checkup tomorrow.
Good. Fortunately, it's not just us moaning about getting on here in the studio. We'd like to be joined today by Phillip Asha from Trendy Entertainment. Hello, Phillip.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Very well. How are you?
Good.
You've come all the way from Florida to be here tonight.
I have, all the way from Florida just for tonight.
Thanks ever so much.
That's the furthest a guest has travelled. Someone came from Plymouth, didn't they?
Yeah,
I'm
not sure. Yeah.
I think. Look on Google Maps.
I don't know. We
I
should check it out,
think
shouldn't we?
You'll need a jetpack to get to Florida.
Okay.
You just walk to Plymouth.
Thanks for coming in. What are you over here doing as well as seeing us?
Thank you. I'm here to show off our new game, Dungeon Defenders 2.
Excellent. Cool. Well, we'll chat to you about that in a second. But we'll start the show as we always do, and that is with Anne's News.
It's 7:04 on Monday the 24th of November. I'm Anne Scantlebury and this is the news. Valve has issued new rules and guidelines for games on Steam Early Access. The 4 new guidelines are listed as: don't launch in Early Access if you can't afford to develop with very few or no sales. Make sure you set expectations properly everywhere you talk about your game. Don't launch in Early Access without a playable game. Don't launch in Early Access if you're done with development. This all follows a number of high-profile problems with Early Access games going wrong and players having to be refunded.
These are guidelines, though, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're not really enforceable, and they all seem like common sense things that people are just should be already subscribing to.
Yeah.
Are you working with Steam at the moment?
We are actually. Dungeon Defenders 2 is going to be on Steam Early Access.
Okay.
Coincidentally.
Do any of these affect you?
They actually didn't. They actually came out the day we were putting up the Steam page, and we're like, "Oh, there are new guidelines. Let's read through them." We're like, "Oh, perfect. We already beat
You weren't doing
everyone."
anything wrong.
Exactly.
No, there have been a few, high-profile failures that we've been chatting about over recent weeks. Do we think this will change anything, Anne? I mean, is it enforceable? Is Gabe going to come round and? Is he?
Yeah, he's going to come round and he's going to have a real strong. he's going to have a word with you.
I'm going to strongly advise that you don't do that.
Some of them were sort of directly linked to previous instance with other things, which was it? Yeah, don't launch in Early Access if you can't afford to develop with few or no sales.
Who was that? Who was that
Double
aimed at?
Fine.
Was it?
Yeah, when they sort of went, "Oh, we're not going to make any money off of this."
It's a little bit of a subtweet, isn't it?
Isn't it? Okay, so that's Double Fine.
Not mentioning any names.
What's the second one?
Make sure you set expectations properly everywhere you talk about your game.
Okay,
sorry,
could that be the DayZ?
Yeah.
What was that one? What was that one that was? They said they were like DayZ, but it turned out not to be. It was on Early Access briefly.
It must be like
Infestation.
Was it?
Well, that's what it's called now.
Oh, is it? And is it still on? Is it back? It's not back on Steam, is it?
It is. I was actually just on my phone looking at Steam, and it's on a week-long deal, I think.
Oh, okay. Tempted? Not at that price. What else, Anne?
Don't launch an Early Access without a playable game. I mean, that's the basics, guys.
Yeah, come on, you should.
And don't launch an Early Access if you're done with development. If you just need a few tweaks, don't make that the place where you do it.
So has someone launched in Early Access without a playable game before?
I don't know, presumably.
Well, they sort of like specified, if you have basically if you have sort of a playable demo but you don't actually have any proper gameplay in there, don't do that.
So prior to this, though, then we could have said we were doing Half-Life 3.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking basically it comes down to force of personality, doesn't it? Just being able to convince people, and I think we're pretty good at that, right?
Okay, yeah. Let's give it a go.
The Office for National Statistics, or the OFNAT as we call it here, has published a report saying the rising costs of video games in the UK has helped make a bump in inflation. The ONS, as some other people call it, pointed to big games being released in the run-up to Christmas and the increase in price of next-generation games being a factor in this. Andy Payne of Yuki explained, video games are a huge driver of growth and jobs and continue to make a significant contribution to the overall UK creative industries sector growth.
There we go, then. So games are more expensive now than they were how long ago? What period did this cover?
Last year.
Last year.
Yeah, they're sort of comparing like for like last year, but that's due to next generation consoles coming out, games for that being more expensive.
They were out last year, though.
Yeah, but they've had more of an impact this year, Simon. There have been more of them out.
Is that how it economics
Yeah, if you're
works?
averaging them out, right?
Okay.
So more people are buying. How much were games on PS3? Like 40 quid, and now they're 50 quid-ish, or maybe 55 and 45, whatever. So it creeps up a little bit.
So are games included in the bag of groceries?
Well, yeah, it seems that way. So in your big shopping basket, the things that they're counting
every week: milk, bread, GTA 5.
GTA 5 and petrol.
But equally, games are getting cheaper, though, aren't they? They obviously don't take into account Steam sales and humble bundles, do they?
Or what about digital games? Are they getting more expensive?
They are more expensive, aren't they? Like, wasn't Call of Duty like 70 quid on the Sony store?
No, sorry, I mean PSN scale games.
Okay, yeah.
Or App Store.
It's hard to tell because Microsoft's point system confused things.
Exactly.
Well, are they just counting like retail, like go into a shops, not don't go into a shops. Yeah, those ones you don't go into.
In your pants shop.
If only we had the author of the news piece here to answer that question.
I mean, imagine. And then would be the ideal situation. EA has withdrawn Dragon Age Inquisition from sale in India due to local obscenity laws. It was thought this was down to the option of having same-gender romance in the game, but EA denied that this was the case. The ESRB rating description raised, as it were, quite a lot of sexy stuff in the game, and this may have been why it was pulled. Unfortunately, all that hot action goes beyond biology, meaning One Life Left will not be able to report any further on this story.
Was that actually the ESRB's commentary? Was like quite a lot of sexy stuff.
Quite sexy, guys.
Quite sexy.
Well, I did. They did highlight some dialogue in the. Oh no! Sorry, this isn't dialogue. Some of it is dialogue.
Some
but
of it's
just
biology, is it?
Some bits.
Look at that diagrams.
Some of the points that the ESRB rating pulled out, and I don't know if I'm okay with reading this out loud.
Okay, well, just bleep it.
Okay.
What colour are they?
A female character briefly depicted in front of a man's torso, it reads, X is implied.
X is implied.
Wow.
Yeah.
Push X to X.
Characters depicted topless or with exposed, well, I guess
X's.
buttocks are biology, whilst lying
Circles.
in bed or after X.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. The way your X bounce when I pin your arms and... No, I'm not good with that one. Yeah, just...
So Dragon Age is it's gone all Witcher, has it? It's up
what
the
is this
sexiness.
with sexy games?
Well, you were complaining there wasn't enough sexy
Oh,
games
was I?
a little
I should
while
have
ago.
some continuity.
Yeah.
Well, this is great. It's great that there are more sexy games, isn't it?
Isn't it good? I think it's good.
I've not played any of the Dragon Age games. Too
Really?
sexy.
I just assume they're a bit like Hatterful Boyfriend,
Oh, I would totally play that.
except for with
Dragons.
dragons, not pigeons.
Everyone is raving about it, though. Have you played it, Philip?
I haven't yet. I love the first one there.
Okay.
Dan Marshall was saying that he spent ages putting makeup on his character. He had to learn a lot of stuff about blusher.
Excellent.
The best things in life may well be free, but that no longer includes free-to-play games. Following investigations from the Office of Fair Trading, the European Commission and the Federal Trade Commission, Apple has removed the free button from all free-to-play games in the App Store. If you want to purchase one of those titles, which still curiously appear under the free tab, you'll have to hit a button saying Get instead. Google Play similarly removed the word free from its digital marketplace earlier this year. We're totally convinced that Get to Play is going to catch on in a matter of seconds.
So this is a semantic story, isn't it? It's I saw a lot of mobile sites throwing a little bit of a fuss about. Can you throw a fuss? I don't think you can.
I'd say yes.
Making a fuss about this sort of thing.
You can make a fuss.
Early in the week struck me as interesting. So I'm glad it made the news story.
So does that mean that we need new acronyms? Because we've had FTP.
Yes.
Now
So
we have
is it
GTP.
Doesn't sound great.
Why do you think they've done this? Do you think they're worried a legal storm is coming?
Must be, surely.
Is this what happened with what's his name, John Lydon, the Sex Pistols man? Is he from Sex Pistols? I'm not very good with that.
He said that he spent
Ex-Pistols.
exactly. He said that he spent £10,000 on apps, didn't he?
Yeah. Do you think he was confused by free?
That's always been the strategy, though. That I mean, I think plenty of people have said this publicly. That the game with free to play is to make sure your free to play game is installed on as many devices as possible. Not worry about all the people playing it for free. Know that there are enough Lydons out there who will pay an obscene amount of money, and the sort of under the table nod wink thing has been, these people are mentally ill and we are taking their money, but it's their choice. And that's always seemed a bit dubious to me. Like that's seemed very dubious to me. And I'm not surprised that Google and Apple are now sort of stepping a little way away from it so that they're covering themselves.
Well, I feel like there is actually quite a reasonable way to do this. That people get the game for free, they play it, and if they like it, they continue to play it.
Right.
And then that level of investment of time can then be matched with an investment of money as well. Like, it does make sense, but you do have to make it clear that that's what's going to...
So you're going to stop people from paying money because they haven't put enough time in?
Yes.
Yes.
No, but if they haven't... If they haven't got to the point where you need to start paying, then that's absolutely fine.
But what about the people who just want to unlock all of the game from the start and just like, yeah, money's no object, so I'm going to put 40 quid in this, because that's what I'd spend on a normal game, so I'm going to buy enough tokens in Candy Crush right now to unlock all of the game for me. You're going to stop them?
Well, no, but that's where it's interesting, because I would never, ever think of spending £40 on an iOS game, ever. But if they could get that out of me because I like the game that much, then well done? Am I saying well done?
I mean, I think it depends how they get it out of you. That's the real question.
Do you think that there is some trickery that goes on there?
I mean, we're working on a free-to-play title that we have called Ethical Monetization, just trying to avoid some of those strategies. I think that, you can't say you can't make free games. That's silly. League of Legends is pretty awesome. You buy heroes, you buy content in it that people work on and make. But there are ways to do free-to-play which take advantage of people, and I think that's some of the problem.
We do seem to have cleaned up our act a little bit, don't we? I think there are certainly fewer, in inverted commas, cynical free-to-play games.
I think, and if you talk to Valve, they'll talk about this a lot as well, but if you take advantage of people, you're really making money in the short term at the expense of the long term. So people are getting tired of it, and so that's kind of disappearing a little bit more as people come into making free experiences that people want to play and are satisfied with their purchases. They're
either getting tired of it or they're getting bankrupt.
The thing I'm worried about with this, with the recent change in the app stores, is that my next game is going to be free. Free to get. But you're going to be able to remove the adverts, and so my previous game did not have that option. This one, you're going to be able to pay just a small amount of money, Anne.
It's nothing. It's almost nothing. You might as well do it.
It's half a cup of coffee. But if you offer things for sale on Android now, you have to. They publicly display your address.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
So your personal home address?
Yep.
That's not...
Why?
Right?
Dunno. I guess if people are furious they've had their adverts removed and they want them back, they'll be able to come around my house and...
Are you going to have to act them out?
I don't know. It's just, it's... and there's been a lot of chat about that change in policy recently, obviously, given some of the hostilities that have been going on online. It's made me think twice. I mean, I'm still going to do it.
Be nice to get a visitor every now and then.
Anne, what's your address?
I'm never telling you. And finally, Microsoft isn't happy celebrating its first anniversary with the Xbox One with paper or cotton. Nope. Anyone who bought an Xbox One in its first year of sale will receive a lovingly handcrafted Eternity ring set in a personalised wooden presentation box carved with the date of purchase on the lid. Just kidding. They're giving out a load of free games and pictures and subscriptions and stuff. That's nice and everything, but we bet you want the ring now, don't you?
Sort of do.
Yeah, totally.
That's a weird idea. I was quite into it, and I actually thought that Microsoft... I thought this was... I was bought in.
Major Nelson was going to come round. He was going to do a documentary of it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's going to select a few key fans of the Xbox One who are early adopters and, make it worth their while.
So that's for anybody that bought it in the first year?
First year, yeah.
So... is that still an early adopter?
No, it doesn't. Well, considering how long the cycle of consoles is expected to be now, say if you're talking about 10 years or something.
Right.
In the first year, that's the first 10th of it.
Didn't the Call of Duty...
That's pretty early, right?
Didn't the Call of Duty Day Zero boxed version last about a week as well?
Did it?
They were selling stuff that you could, so you could. It gave you extra bonuses. You could play it for a bit. You still buy it. Yeah, strange. We seem to be.
We're not Microsoft early adopters, are we?
No.
As a radio show, we're still Microsoft. Please send us a console, people. I thought about writing to them again.
Did you?
This week and saying, guys, we've heard the Xbox isn't doing so well. I mean, sorry, we're not judging you or anything, but we've just heard that Sony are profiting from your lack of generosity when it comes to handing out consoles to radio shows, and we're not ones to hold grudges.
That's not.
We'd love to. We'd love to.
I mean, it isn't as if you follow us on Twitter, you'll find that we have got a list called The List. I mean, that's not the case at all, is it?
No, but we've not added them.
No, yet have we?
So, reach out, guys.
What's the worst that could happen? Although hasn't it been doing better recently?
Yes, because they discounted.
But they put a press release out recently, or there was a story recently that said that it had been outselling PlayStation 4 for the last 3 weeks. Right.
Oh, brilliant. 3 weeks.
Well done.
Wow. Good one, guys.
But we're not making fun. I mean, that is good.
It is good.
Great.
Isn't it?
Well done, guys. Unfortunately, we're not able to comment on
we'd
the
love to.
technical merits of the Xbox at
Not
this
yet.
point.
Apparently, there's an Xbox bundle in the Amazon Black Friday sale, which is starting today on Monday.
That'd be a great thing to review, wouldn't it be? On next week's show
lovely.
in
Yeah.
triplicate.
Yeah.
Anyway, happy Christmas, Microsoft. Thanks, Anne.
One life left. Video game news with Anne Scantleberry.
You're listening to One Life Left on Resonance 104.4 FM. We're a radio show about video games. We also play chiptune music, mostly culled from chipmusic.org. This is Solar Loon and Jetline. It sounds very, very, very 8-bit. Sounds like a soundtrack to a video game.
Isn't that what we go for?
Not always. Sometimes we mix it up.
Is this the first time you've heard it?
No, I listened to it.
Okay, right, just checking.
I mean, your reaction sounds genuine.
Well, it is. That's because I'm a professional radio show presenter
Don't
in
understand
a
it.
sort of amateurish way.
It's good.
Thanks. Okay, so we've done the news section. Later on, we're going to have some amazing new features. Derek Williams is back for the final time.
Didn't he say that last
He
time?
sent me an email today, quitting again.
No.
I know.
Derek,
We let him back just so that he can quit.
we do
We
this
do.
every
We
power
time.
trip.
fall for it every time.
And
this
every time it hurts.
This time, one life left. It'll be different. I swear. You know.
Fingers crossed.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
The studio's a bit of a mess, isn't it? You notice all the leaves in here?
Oh, it's winter, isn't it, Simon?
Autumn.
Is it? No, it's winter now.
It's not winter yet.
Oh, is it winter on the 1st? December.
Christmas break, it says up there. The last day of broadcast, the last underlined day of broadcast will be Tuesday, the 23rd of December.
Oh, I need to book some
2014.
holiday. I'm off on the 22nd. No, I
So
do. I'm in
One
Scotland.
Life Left's final show will be on Monday, the 22nd of December.
Without Simon.
Who's on holiday?
Apparently
I'm in
without
Scotland.
Simon. And without the other Simon as well. Simon the intern is here. Say hello, Simon.
How's it
Hi.
going?
Good.
Good. You are, as Anne was saying, you're becoming an integral part of the team. I didn't realise that we did so much wrong that we needed external help for, but it's becoming apparent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Someone else is part of the team for the next 35 minutes. Philip, are
Hey,
you enjoying yourself?
I am enjoying
Thank
myself.
you so much for coming on. How are you enjoying England?
Oh, it's great. A lot colder than Florida, but nice.
Okay, well, and when did you get over?
Oh, we got over on Saturday. Apparently, this was the first weekend it was raining.
Okay,
in a
thanks
long
for
time,
that.
I've heard.
It's unusual. How many other developers are there in Florida? We don't hear of many.
You know, there's a couple. EA has a place in Orlando. EA Tiburon. There's also Zynga and a couple other studios there.
Okay. Well, you're the first one on the show. Welcome.
Awesome.
In all our 9 years. So tell us about Trendy Entertainment.
So Trendy Entertainment, we make video games. We work on a franchise called Dungeon Defenders. We shipped the first one back in 2011 on PC, Xbox 360, and PS3. We did close to 6 million units
Wow.
across that and on mobile too. So
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot, is it?
it was enough for us to grow from about 9 people to 50 people. So
Whoa.
Crikey.
Maths.
Yeah.
How many is that, Anne?
That's a growth of 41.
What do
that
you,
was brilliant.
so what are the reasons for its success, do you think?
I think we came out at a really good time. That's what a lot of success means. But also, it's just a fun game. It's an action tower defense RPG. Your older brother can strategize. You can shoot stuff, and then you guys level up and get cool loot.
Okay. And the sequel then. So that's 3 years since the original came out, you say? So tell us about that.
About the time in between.
No, tell us about the sequel then. So what, you took a look at the original games. What new things are you bringing to the table?
So really the whole studio came together and we wanted to know just how can we make this a better experience. And we at first split apart the core pillars of the game, like action, tower defense, role playing, and then we brought them back together and we're like, how can we make all of these affect each other? We made the art style. I can't show you guys over the radio, but we
can paint a picture with words.
I can paint a picture. It's like a living painting.
Okay.
Everything's hand drawn. All of our we have this amazing this is a great story. We wanted a 2D visual effects style for the game, kind of like a cartoon. And we go, well, how can we do this? No one here at the studio can do this. And we're like, I was actually over our creative director's desk, and he's looking at this guy in DeviantArt, and he's like, we need to be like this guy. And I'm like, well, why don't you call that guy? And so we called that guy. He lives in Russia. He's done all of our visual effects in the whole game.
Oh, fantastic.
It looks gorgeous. They're all 2D hand-painted flipbooks. So the game's like a living painting. It has a ton of loot. We've like amped up the RPG aspect from the first game. All of your loot and stats affect your strategy. So imagine this. Imagine Plants vs. Zombies, except tons of goblins and orcs, and there are dinosaurs too. You can fight dinosaurs.
Excellent.
So these dinosaurs and wyverns, they'll be coming at you. You place your defenses like a giant cannonball, like a fireball trap. Like there's these things called auras. They're like clouds that hate enemies and deal them damage. You place lightning one, and then enemies come up and they die.
Cool.
Loot is everything in video games, isn't it?
It seems so,
is.
yeah.
And increasingly in life. I've noticed like the popularity of shows like Storage Wars and things. They're all about loot, aren't they? Just opening chests, finding stuff, and using them to upgrade your life.
Should make a Storage Wars game. Does working on a sequel for a game that's had so much success bring different pressures?
Oh, it's much harder than working on the original.
Right.
One of the difficult things is that everyone has a different perception of why they loved your first game.
Okay.
And so it's impossible to meet every single person's perception without making the same game, and that's boring. Who wants to just make more levels for the same game? So we kind of had to do a lot of research and talk to our community a lot and really figure out which aspects of the game we wanted to evolve and which aspects needed to stay the same.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Dinosaurs is one of the evolutions. That makes everything better.
Wow, hot at the moment, aren't they? New Jurassic Park trailer.
Have you seen it?
Oh, wait,
there was a trailer for the trailer.
I saw the trailer for the trailer.
It's getting crazy. And you're on a press tour at the moment. So you've done the US. How was that? How did it go down there?
It went really well. People I shouldn't say surprisingly, but people really enjoy the game. It's much more accessible than the first one. I remember when we first launched the first one going around, it would take forever to explain to people how to play. But since then, there's been other action tower defense games, and people are familiar with the genre, and it's gone really well.
And how have you found the British press? Are there any
very
differences?
British.
Yeah, are they? So any difference between showing a game to a US journalist?
Funny enough, I don't think so.
Okay.
It's been relatively the same, which is a good thing.
Right. And you also, you were mentioning before the show, spoilers, you were mentioning you're involved in the Game Awards, or you're doing some stuff at the Game Awards.
We are actually. We're going to be participating in the Game Awards. It's going to be amazing this year. It's on December 5th. We will be there, and we have a special announcement.
Okay, and you're not going to tell us that now. I mean, it is just us now, so we'll be fine.
It's a secret.
Just lean into the mic and just whisper.
Was it a difficult choice to get involved in the Game Awards, because it's the first year for them, and it's a sort of an unknown quantity, I guess. I mean, it's funny. I was talking to Terry Alderton, who I work with on GameStars, which was an award show on ITV. The first one wasn't particularly good through no fault of Terry's, but getting everybody to agree to do something whilst giving them all equal weighting without sort of diluting, I found a very, very tricky thing to do within the games industry. Was it? Did you get a sense of that Jeff's up to with the Game Awards?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, he really wants to make a great award show, and we were really excited to have the opportunity. We're a smaller studio. This is our second title, and We think it's going to do really well this year, and we think there's a demand for the kind of show that he's trying to put on. And the new ways that they're showing the show, streaming online, and those sorts of things are going to be really interesting. So we're super excited. I think it'll be a success. Yeah,
because from the partners that he's got, I mean, it seems like everybody's on board. And
yeah.
Are we up for anything?
Should be.
I mean, I assume so. I just haven't checked my email in a while.
Yeah, well, that's I think that's why we're not able to do anything on it, because
why they haven't asked us. Right, understand.
So that announcement is on December the 5th.
Yep.
Can you give any clues?
What colour is it?
The announcement?
Yeah.
Blue.
Is it interesting? You're
Says a
on
lot.
you're on early access right now, so we can play the game.
Not yet. December 5th.
Okay.
So same day as the Game Awards.
Okay, so that's when you start on early access.
Yep.
You've gone through the checklist. All seems well. And how long do you expect to be in early access for?
We have on our Steam page now. We expect to be in early access for at least a year.
Okay.
So.
Great. All right. Well, good luck with it. You're going to stick around for the rest of the show.
Thank you.
What are we doing now, Steve?
Hello, I'm Sega Badawi, and welcome to One Life Left, Local News. Scientists have successfully landed a probe onto an asteroid, but not without issues. Firstly, the Kerbal Space Program tried sending the washing machine-sized object into space, but read the plan incorrectly and actually sent a washing machine onto the rocket. This meant that they had to aim at a different comet and nearly managed it, but someone at Mission Control accidentally pressed Y, so the instant restarted and had to do the whole 10-year mission again from the start. They finally managed to land the probe, but still with a few problems. Their aim was slightly off and they hit the asteroid, which caused it to break into 2 smaller and faster pieces. When they activated the probe, they found that they had accidentally used an iPhone battery, which meant that it only had minutes of power left. Thanks, and back to your usual programming.
Email, messages, and forward BCC. One Life Letters.
Lots of letters this week, but only after a little hissy fit we threw on Twitter.
Well, yeah, we were trying to kill everybody with kindness initially. That didn't work, so we put a threat out. Exactly. I've got a couple. One is from Edgar Saleh Pierre Lamy. Hey team and lovely super special guest. Just listened to Series 10, Episode 7. I thoroughly enjoyed s10e and Simon correcting hands less to fewer in unison. Good.
I didn't.
Is anyone looking forward to H1Z1? I think I am, but I'm not sure. Has anybody played PlanetSide 2? I think it's that with zombies. Does that sound good or not?
No idea.
I'm looking forward to H1Z1. It's going to be Sony's PlayStation 4 zombie survival game.
Okay, sounds good. I mean,
so it'd be like DayZ, but without having to choose what level of graphics you want.
Right.
Stuff like that. So,
okay.
See you there.
Hi team and SSG. So, says Lawrence Weir, you desperately need a question. Look, I can't think of one at the moment, so why don't you consider this? If robots are taking over more and more of our lives, taking away the dull and boring things that we used to have to spend ages doing, e.g. the laundry or milking cows, why not with games? I can think of that Super Mario game on the Wii a few years ago that you were able to put it into an automatic mode so it would just do the hard bits for you. No more. Shouldn't all games come with a mode just in case they want simple button prompts to get to the next bit of digital heroin injected in their docile, inactive brains? That's what I think anyway.
Yes.
Should games play themselves?
If you want them to.
Yeah.
Isn't that what YouTube playthroughs are for? They're for people who want games but don't want to play them.
No, but if you're getting stuck on something, you should be able to just go.
Yeah,
I mean, it should
do this
know.
for me.
I mean, I know that goes against the sort of Dark Souls masochism, etc. But yeah, sometimes it's not.
It's hard though, because I know I would never choose that button. I would choose to stop playing the game rather than admit defeats.
Of course, what we can do now, Steve, on these modern consoles is I can go, you can go, oh, I'm rubbish at this game. I'll ask my old mate Simon to do some share play and I'll sort it out for you.
That's fine. You just press the button that goes do it for him.
Push X to X.
Hi, you lovely lot. Excuse me. Recently, there have been a lot of high-profile games launching in poor states. Bugs, performance issues, even entire features missing. Assassin's Creed Unity, Drive Club and the Master Chief collection to name but a few. I was digging through the retro shop at Insomnia over the weekend and spotted more than a few games I remembered being much hyped then duly forgotten. Haven, Call of the King being a standout. It got me wondering, does anyone have a particular game they were massively disappointed by outside of the past year? How long ago was the oldest released? And is it more painful to have a game fail to meet your creative expectations or your technical ones? The one that leaps to mind for me is the original State of Emergency on the PS2. The association with GTA 3 Rockstar meant I was hoping for a gem of a game, but it was just boring and repetitive game, made even worse by bad controls and poor frame rate. All the best, Andrew.
Elite 2, for me, no question. Was so excited about that. Used to go into Manchester every week, waiting for the release. Got it, and was basically an incredibly technically impressive game and very, very boring to play.
Every arcade conversion for the Spectrum.
Yeah.
You would,
not an actual screenshot on the box.
Yeah. Philip, have you got any examples?
I would say Final Fantasy 13 for me.
Right.
It took you that many to get cynical about them.
To get that cynical.
Yeah. No, 9 was the one that lost me completely. Anyway.
I've never been disappointed.
Philip, you've got a letter.
I do. It's from Raul Ricky. It's "You're all great, especially you extra special guest. Thank you. But can you tell me when an arcade stopped meaning a place full of shops too expensive for me to buy things from and started meaning a place full of games like Tekken 3? I think my question for him is, when did an arcade stop meaning a place full of games and start meaning a place to buy things from?
I'm guessing that, yeah. I mean, I used to. They used to have a shopping arcade,
right?
Didn't you? You'd go down the arcade.
This sounds like a question for intern Simon. Simon, can you go and find out the etymology of arcade, please? We'll get back to you.
Yeah, thanks for that. I've got a question from Matt. He says, hi, Steve, Simon. Sorry, hi, and Steve, Simon, and super special guest. I was wondering if you think a game can ever be truly timeless, or are we all doomed to an endless cycle where someday all games will be eclipsed by increasingly shallow experiences? Keep up the good work, folks. Can a game ever be timeless?
I was thinking about this. Chess is timeless. I was thinking about modern games, though, things that I've been playing over the last few years, and whether any of them will ever retain the sort of like timelessness of Pac-Man or Asteroids and things. And I think the game that's most likely to do that over the last few years is Spelunky. I have been playing Spelunky, and I think that I'm past the point now where I should have got bored of it. Right, yeah. I've played it for years and years and years and years and years, and it's just beautiful. It's perfect. It plays absolutely perfectly. There is nothing that is missing from Spelunky, and I can see that still being played in 20 years' time without being touched.
Are you still playing it even though you finished it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've beaten it, and
you beat it for the first time this week?
I did. Yeah, and I thought, oh, maybe that's it for me in Spelunky, but it turns out it isn't. So yeah, Spelunky.
What tablet have you just been handed there by Simon?
I've been handed the answer to the arcade etymology.
I'm interested in the hardware. What is it?
This is an Asus
T100. Oh, interesting.
Asus T100. Okay.
Can it play Super Mario 64?
That's the letter section.
Yes. Thank you ever so much, everybody writing in. Robert Wells, sorry we didn't get to you. Daninsky, thank you for writing in. He said he couldn't think of anything to ask us right now. He said the pressure you keep putting on me is too great.
Just start thinking now.
Do keep letters coming. We won't have to issue the threats. Team at onelifeleft.com.
One Life Letters.
Pop it like a wheelie should. I'm up on your mind, feeling pretty good. Don't stop it, bitch, you in my way. Thank you so much. Oh wow, okay. Show you what I mean. Can't stop it. Diddy diddy do. La la di da. All because of you. So pop it like a wheelie should. I'm up on your mind, feeling pretty good. Don't stop it. Bitch, you in my way. Thank you so much. Oh wow, okay. I don't know.
This is Anamanaguchi, Pop It.
It's brilliant.
It's absolutely excellent. I think the video of this was directed by Creighton, a friend of the show. Yeah.
Amazing.
Sorry about that. I was just taking a picture of the intern, which I've just realised, as I've said, it is a sentence that you shouldn't admit, isn't it? Could get you into a lot of trouble.
It's fine. They've got very few rights over here. Talking of Simon, the intern, he's handed me, as I said previously, the results of his research for etymology, etymology of arcade. Arcade is from the late 17th century, from the French Provençal arcada, or Italian arcata, based on Latin. This doesn't really answer the question. It just says it used to mean that. Now it's short for amusement arcade. So I guess that's the answer.
Yeah.
No, the question is no. It was when.
Yeah, that's true. Simon.
You looked at that and thought it was worth handing over, did you? Unbelievable.
That homework will not cut it.
Exactly.
No, it won't, really. But why were you taking photos, Simon?
Because he's made me a cake.
Why? Oh, we've done this already.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
Yeah, so we're going to tweet that for the listeners, and then we're going to scoff it.
Brilliant. Are we going to do cake and reviews?
Let's do mouthful reviews, shall we? Yes.
You're needed in surgery immediately.
Avatar, you're the only one that can do this. You're gonna have to operate.
Dr. Avatar, operating room dictation on patient of Gondor, Italian. Operative diagnosis, traumatic crush injury of the right hand and transverse slash injury to the carotid arteries bilaterally. Estimated blood loss 700 cc's, OR time 13 hours. Mr. of Gondor presented to the emergency room claiming to have been slain by a servant of Sauron, and after being triaged and cleared by psychiatry, was found to have genuine traumatic injury. Surgical nerve exploration was performed in the hand with intraoperative action potential monitoring. The scar tissue was removed in the surrounding area and excised, and neurolysis performed. A median antibrachial graft was used for nerve which was not salvageable. Both carotid arteries were felt to be too damaged by penetrating injury and thus were sacrificed. Angioembolization was performed, making the patient posterior circulation dependent. During our operation, our anesthetist observed that Mr. of Gondor actually had no vital signs present. In retrospect, this was also the case at his initial presentation. The procedure was abandoned and the patient was transferred to the morgue. Ending dictation for patient of Gondor, Italian.
This is Clam, Back to Reality, again from chipmusic.org. You're listening to One Life Left, a radio show about video games.
What were you trying to Google then?
I was trying to Google, in all caps, Evangeline Lilly.
Why?
We've got a few minutes.
Okay, exactly.
Just catching up with my image searches.
Fair enough.
No, we were just doing some typo checking for the Eventbrite page we just set up.
The what?
Eventbrite. Now, Eventbrite is a site through which you can distribute or sell tickets for an event.
Why would we be
Why
setting
would
up
you? Is this for your
on?
birthday? Are we selling tickets
a
for your
radio
birthday?
show about what's going on?
Radio show about video games. It's that time of year, special time of year, and we sort of talked about this last week, but now we can talk about it properly. This year, 2014, in December, we're going to be throwing the One Life Left Christmas party.
Hooray.
One Christmas left on the 19th.
That sounds threatening.
It is.
It is.
Yeah,
So we
but
better
it
make
all
this one
counts.
count. The 19th of December.
19th. Okay, let's run through the details then. We know when, what time.
Friday.
Friday.
Friday night. So nothing to worry about on the Saturday.
Exactly. We get wasted.
Get wrecked.
wrecked.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously drink responsibly. But that said, Friday night.
Okay, Friday night.
Friday night, end of the
19th.
week.
Where?
It's at the Loading Bar in Dalston. Our best friends there are going to be helping us host the event, and that's obviously the venue for our third stays, has been throughout the year, and this is on a Friday, so don't forget.
What is going on?
So every year we throw a Christmas party, and we have some very, very special guests, and we do our Marioke. We do special Marioke. We do Marioke. Marioke is where we sing songs about video games, pop songs with lyrics rewritten to be about video games. At Christmas we do that, but we mix in some Christmas songs as well.
I noticed a few in the last couple of Mariokes. I think people have been warming up. We've had a couple of...
We've taken them off the list now.
We took them out last time.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Yeah, pay attention.
Okay.
So, fewer. So, we're going to be doing that.
Okay.
Christmas songs, all new Christmas songs
Right.
to sing. That'll be super festive.
Yep, good news. What else?
We'll be doing. We'll be inviting our best friends.
Yes, who?
Regular features.
Oh, John, Matt,
and Steve.
and Steve.
Yes.
Excellent.
John, Matt, and Steve. They'll be there.
Those guys are great.
What are they going to be doing?
Those four. Those four of them. There's John, Matt, and Steve, and
Ringo.
The other one.
the other one. So they'll be doing a very special regular features.
Okay.
And they'll be broadcasting that from the basement. Well, they won't be broadcasting. They'll be
From their
recording it
grotto.
later. They'll be.
Yeah, we can change at Christmas time. We can change basement to grotto,
Yeah.
and it legitimises it.
Well, that sounds brilliant then.
So
I mean,
they'll be doing
that
a
surely
special
must
show.
that must be it for the party.
Yeah, you'd think so, but no.
What?
We can confirm that reappearing this year, as he does once every year, One Life Left's Father Christmas, Keith Stewart.
Keith Stewart
No!
from The Guardian.
Keith Stewart will be turning up and letting you sit on his knee and giving you a special present.
Didn't he end up sleeping in a bus shelter last time as well, did he?
Genuinely did.
Yeah, good.
And his assistant, it wouldn't really be Father Christmas without a special elf, and Simon Parkin will be his elf.
That's what, the New Yorker's Simon Parkin?
The New Yorker's Simon Parkin.
What do the New Yorker know? They haven't seen any pictures of him dressed as an elf, have they?
Let's send them loads.
Yes.
Let's get him really drunk and put his ears on funny.
If you want a picture of you on Keith Stewart's knee
In the New Yorker.
to enable you to be part of very special Gamergate diagrams, then you have to be at One Life Left's Christmas party. One Christmas left.
How do we... God, this sounds amazing, Steve. How do we get tickets?
So we have an Eventbrite page, and it is live right now, and it is at... I have this written down on a piece of paper. OLL Xmas2014.eventbrite.co.uk.
That's easy to remember. I'm surprised that was still available.
One more time, Anne.
OLL Xmas 2014.eventbrite.co.uk.
Great. And how much are tickets? They must be like £100 each, mustn't
You
they,
would
for
think
that?
so, wouldn't
You would think so, but no, they're not. They are £7.10. And don't worry, guys, we've absorbed the fees.
And so we're going to be putting the money behind the bar. It's just an incentive to make sure that people arrive, isn't it?
Just turn up.
Just turn up.
That's all we need you to do is just turn up.
Turn up.
So tickets are on sale now. Get them now before those regular features lock.
Yeah, and we'll be giving out badges, I imagine, will we?
Yeah, we'll be doing badges again, and presumably there'll be
Secret
surprises.
Santa.
Also, Secret Santa, you'll be encouraged to bring in a game that you don't want anymore to be wrapped up, or you'll wrap it up, and then to be gifted out by Keith Stewart. Amazing. So that's the plan. We assume you will all be there. If you're not, you will join one of regular features on the list. Okay, time for Derek.
Leaving out a couple of things like Future Zone, which turned into Electronics Boutique, which turned into Game, the small electronics shop that got me memory expansion packs for the VIC-20, and the small computer shop in an out-of-town housing estate still selling 1983 vintage Spectrum games in the early 90s. This is my last update regarding video game shops of old. I hope you've enjoyed them. This week's update is regarding International Computer Entertainment. Yes, ICE. There's a great backronym for you. This was the really cool edgy one that started late Mega Drive period. The front of the shop was more a gaming foyer with one side dedicated to arcade machines, particularly of the Neo Geo variety. It had a big front window too, so it was quite bright inside. Most of the frontage was glass actually. Come to think of it, that was probably a good way to suit the name. Colour scheme was a light grey and the rear of the shop was slightly elevated with the counter to the left hand side. They had a few Spectrum games still lingering on in there too when I was going in, but mainly I was going in there for the arcade machines. Most fun of all was the slightly glitchy Street Fighter 2 arcade machine, which we now know as the Rainbow Edition. Much hilarity as Dragon Punch produced about 20 fireballs, and the machine claiming you win, fight, lose perfect at the end of every match. The shop did seem to specialise in the obscure and cool imports, so it was the first place I ever saw the huge Neo Geo games for sale, and the Panasonic 3DO, which was impressive. But I was really just interested in wasting more dinner money on Samurai Showdown or World Heroes or Fatal Fury 2. I've always been rather keen on beat-em-ups. They didn't really last long. They disappeared in the early PlayStation era. I never really got to know the staff, but I really miss those arcade machines. Anyway, I'm Derek Williams and I hope you've enjoyed this quadrilogious return to free market economy, but I'm going away for a while again now. Oh, and if you like synth music, why not have a look at my website, defsynth.com. That's defsynth.com.
Oh, Derek. Little advert at the end for Derek's other projects, side projects. I mean, One Life Left is his full-time occupation. Say full-time. Simon, what are you doing?
I'm literally eating a cake.
Okay, good. Happy birthday, Simon. You're allowed to do that today, or today, special day.
Is it chocolate?
Guys, I
Very
forgot.
moist.
It's amazing.
It's time for our reviews. Eating cake reminded me.
We're going to do reviews with our mouths full.
No, it's a very, very special radio.
If this goes well, are we going to do it every week?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right.
Yeah, because people like that review show where they're eating chili, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, it's a special thing where someone eats really hot chili and then has to review a video game.
I'm eating delicious chocolate cake. Thanks, Simon.
Oh, it's really good, Simon.
It is a speciality of yours.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah, that's the only cake that I can bake.
I don't think you need any more in your
No,
repertoire.
you bake it very well.
I think you've done very well here.
Good work. And listeners, if it's your birthday, why not imagine we're enjoying this cake with you right now, okay? Even if it's not, maybe we could just have come around for
Do you know what?
tea.
It's my mum's birthday on Friday.
Yeah?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. If you're listening to this on the podcast, just pause it right now. Go and get some cake. Then
Join
just
us.
Join us. And what have you been playing?
Do you know what? I've been playing Portal 2.
What?
I know. I've started playing it this week. I've never played it before. I've never played Portal 1 either. I didn't really know what it was about. I found out you've got to make portals, guys.
Right, wow.
Really important.
Why has no one mentioned this before?
Don't know, I just knew that it was a game. I thought it was just a regular puzzle game and portal just seemed like a fancy word. But you've got to make portals happen. And that's the puzzle.
Okay, how are you getting on with it?
Like, alright at the minute. Like, pretty good. So I've been playing it, as I'm playing a lot of games at the minute, as what I've termed, single player co-op with Matt. He has played it before.
Who's Matt? You can't just drop a major character into a 9-year-old radio show like that without any sort of exposition. And you've got a burst eardrum. Are the two connected?
Well, he didn't put his finger in my ear. Well, Matt is my lovely boyfriend.
Okay, right.
No.
Sorry, boys.
It's fine. I don't think anyone's too upset. And yeah, so we've been playing this, and he's played it before, so he knows all of the things, which is brilliant. So I've been finding it actually really hard to get my head around. I don't know. Maybe you have to have played the first one to really get what it does. But you have to sort of jump through portals and let them launch you off in different. Onto different platforms and things, so you can get through this world. It's really good, and the thing that I've been enjoying about it the most, which is what everyone enjoys about it the most, is the humour and the voiceovers. I think the acting is brilliant. I think the dialogue is just fantastic. It's so funny, and that is what's going to keep me playing. I think the puzzles are good, but it's the characters and the narrative and the humour that is great. I'm going to keep playing it though, but for now, 7 out of 10. That can change.
Simon,
I've been playing Run, Jump, Die on the old Android phone. So it's a game with a brilliant name because you run and you jump and then you die. It's a high score game, very simple, charming visuals, endless scroller. You tap to jump, you have to land on other platforms in order to continue going. It gets faster and faster and faster. You score. Yeah, it's excellent, loads of fun, very much enjoying it.
Do you have to die?
You do. Everybody dies at some point. I'm not, like most of these games, I'm not very good at it, but I am enjoying it. It's available on Android now. I think it was 50 pence.
Excellent.
I could probably look up the developer's home address, actually, thinking about that.
That could be a new feature.
Exactly. Exactly.
What? Developer's home address is on Street View.
That's not a bad idea.
All right. Okay.
7 out of 10. Phillip.
Excellent.
I've been playing a game on mobile called Spider-Man Unlimited. It is a get-to-play game, apparently. It's basically the Ninja Gaiden of free runners. You attack up, you attack down, you move left, you move right. You could do all of those while swinging. It's eaten hours of my life and about $30, so I'll subtract the 30 from the 10 and give it a 7 out of 10.
Seems...
Even I've spent money on that. It's really good, isn't it?
It is.
For a game like that. And I'll tell you who else likes it. Matt Bott from Harmonix.
Really?
He saw it on my phone. He was like, it's a really good game, isn't it? Like, you wouldn't expect it to. It's a licensed game.
Yeah.
It's from Game Loft. Yeah, it's really good.
Interesting. I've been playing Tennis in the Face. Tennis in the Face is a video game on PSN. It's by 10 Tons, who are one of my favourite developers, who I didn't know anything about before they sent us a promo code for King Oddball last year, I think, or earlier this year.
Maybe if you're lucky, you'll learn about this new company called Microsoft when they send you your Xbox One.
I hope so. In between now and then, they've released Crimson Land, which we also enjoyed. And Tennis in the Face is another very, very simple puzzle game. You play a fallen sports star who got addicted to energy drink, and you have got to eliminate all of the things on a screen by firing tennis balls at them. It's very sort of cell phone mobile thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's on a mobile device. Haven't checked.
Right.
Doesn't matter. No. You guys can. I trust you enough to do that.
You're platform agnostic, aren't you?
I am. Only Microsoft can help that become more true. Anyway, I was really excited about this when I heard the name, because Tennis in the Face made me laugh, and the game continued to make me laugh as I played it. It's super fun and it's super cheap, and it reminds me, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the sort of games that you used to buy, you know, when games used to be on sale in newsagents, and yes. And you pick something up for like £3 you'd never heard of before and hadn't been reviewed, and you thought, oh, it looks kind of good, and you got it home, and it wasn't like, didn't have the highest production values in the world, but it was just fun and stupid, and you enjoyed it on its own terms. This is exactly like that, and I have really, really enjoyed it. We have some more promo codes for it as well, which we will give out to our favourite letters for next week's show.
Ooh, incentive.
So if you want to receive a promo code for a PS4 version of a solid 7 out of 10 video game, write us a letter next week.
Excellent. Really excited about next week. Phillip, thank you so much for coming on this week. I hope the rest of your tour goes well.
Thanks.
So we look out for the announcement on the December the 5th. Did you see?
Yep,
did you say?
December the 5th.
And Steam Early Access on that day as well?
Yep.
And where can we keep up with you personally? Are you on Twitter?
I'm on Twitter at PM Asher.
Excellent. Well, good luck with the rest of it.
Thanks.
Next week, we've got Mr. Biffo is coming in the studio.
Really?
Paul Rose.
Wow.
Yes. An
He's
old
back.
hero of mine, certainly.
He's been on the show before, hasn't he?
I'm
ago.
not certain we're allowed to talk about that show because it was removed from the internet.
Really?
Oh, dear.
At his request. So he's coming on next week, so do let us know if you've got anything you want us to ask him.
Brilliant. But up until that point, we have been One Life Left, and we will continue to be One Life Left. Thanks for listening. See you then.
See you. Bye.
Bye.